Chapter 6. I'm hunched over my laptop in Blackwood's dining room, surrounded by the ghosts of long-dead dinner parties and the musty smell of decay. The jerky I'm chewing tastes like leather, but it's better than nothing as I dig through town records, genealogies, and newspaper archives. Might as well do something useful while I wait for the house to try killing me again. The deeper I dig into Blackwood's history, the darker it gets. Built in 1840 by some nameless nobleman. And isn't that interesting? Every record I find conveniently omits his name, like history itself is trying to forget him. The guy had money, power, and apparently a talent for making people disappear. The manor's opening ball reads like a horror story's first chapter: mysterious deaths, missing guests, the usual greatest hits of haunted house lore. But it's the pattern that follows that makes my skin crawl. Servants vanishing one by one, reports of the nobleman's growing madness, and then nothing. No death certificate, no property transfer, no explanation for what happened to our mystery aristocrat. He just fades from the records like a ghost. But here's the kicker. The manor kept hiring servants well into the 1920s. The last poor soul was Beatrice O'Malley, 23, and probably too naive to question why this place burned through staff like kindling. When she went missing in 25, her family actually had the balls to come looking for her. They found her screaming in the attic, surrounded by what the papers delicately called human remains. Some of the bodies were so old their clothes were rotting off their bones. Fashion statements from the 1800s turned to grave goods. Beatrice made it out alive, lucky girl. But the owner? Vanished again, leaving behind his collection of corpses like some twisted museum exhibit. The manor's been empty since then, officially anyway. Though after what I've seen, I'm starting to wonder if empty is really the right word. Christ, I need stronger coffee for this. I dump some cheap whiskey into my instant coffee, a habit I picked up during endless stakeouts in haunted houses. Used to be for boredom. Now it's for my nerves. As I sip the spiked brew, something about the timeline nags at me. This nobleman who supposedly owned Blackwood couldn't have been behind the 1920s murders unless he found the fountain of youth. The National Archives website loads at a crawl, because of course the Wi-Fi in this death trap is garbage. But finally, I strike gold. Alexander Craughton, our mystery nobleman, born 1815. Fourth son of some aristocrat nobody remembers. Built this lovely slice of hell when he was 25, probably with daddy's money. Got himself deep into the occult too, because apparently being rich and murderous wasn't enough of a hobby. Here's where it gets weird, and in my line of work, that's saying something. The deed to Blackwood, still in Craughton's name. No sales, no inheritance, nothing. Like the house just stopped existing in legal terms after he moved in. I dig deeper, following the digital breadcrumbs. Craughton married young, moved his bride into this architectural nightmare. Poor girl didn't even make it through the opening ball before taking that fatal tumble down the stairs. The same stairs Alex told me about, with that hungry look in his eyes. My hands shake as I click through to some digitized newspaper archives from 1925. The headlines hit me like a punch to the gut. House of Horrors discovered at Blackwood Manor. Unknown serial killer claims dozens of victims. Charming murderer lured victims to their doom. My eyes are burning from staring at the screen, but I can't look away from Beatrice's account. It tells how she answered a simple newspaper ad for a maid position, hired by some charming bastard who called himself Alex Craughton. The more I read, the worse it gets. This Alex character had quite the hobby, using those looks and that charm to lure people in, men and women alike. Didn't discriminate when it came to his victims. How progressive of him. They all ended up in the same place though, dead in his personal house of horrors. The newspaper descriptions hit too close to home. Handsome man with piercing green eyes and red hair, known for his charisma and seductive manner. Alex. Green eyes and red hair. My hands are shaking as I click through archives like a man possessed, searching for any photo, any image of this Alexander. Hell, I'd take a death picture at this point. Anything to prove I'm just being paranoid. A thought hits me through the whiskey haze. If no one's lived here since Craughton, Everything in this gothic nightmare is original. The furniture, the decorations. There must be paintings, photographs, something. I stumble to my feet, the room swaying slightly. Time to play detective in this museum of murder. Room by room, I search, but every blank wall, every empty frame mocks me. It's like someone systematically removed every trace of Alexander Crawton's face from this place. My fingers tremble as I punch in the real estate agent's number. Maybe I'm wrong. God, please let me be wrong. When she picks up, I try to keep my voice steady as I ask about any pictures still at the house. She mentions taking some, planning to donate them to a museum. I press her about photos of the original owner, and she puts me on hold. I pace the creaking floorboards like a caged animal, counting the seconds. My phone buzzes. A text. One image. The phone slips from my numb fingers, clattering on the floor like a death knell. That face. Christ, that face. It's him. Every detail. The sharp jawline I traced with my fingers last night. Those burning green eyes that saw right through me. Even that damn knowing smile that made my knees weak. Has to be a descendant, I mutter to the empty room, grasping at straws like a drowning man. Great-great-grandson. Family resemblance. That's why he knows the house so well. But the lie tastes bitter in my mouth. The resemblance isn't just close. It's perfect. Like looking at a mirror image across time. His intimate knowledge of every dark corner, every bloody secret. Hell, he talked about this place like he built it himself. My detective brain kicks in, doing math I don't want to face. If the nobleman was behind those 1920s murders, he would have been pushing 110. Unless... The truth hits me like a sledgehammer. The Alex I let touch me, kiss me, the man I'm falling for, he's not human. Can't be. But if he's not some long-lost Crawton descendant, then what the hell is he? Nausea rolls through me as the pieces click into place. His skin, cold as marble under my hands. The way he never touched the food I offered. How he spoke about centuries-old murders like he was there. I have to find him. Have to confront him. Have to hear him say it. My gut churns as reality sinks in. I'm about to face down a creature who spent nearly 2 centuries luring people to their deaths. And like a complete idiot, I didn't just invite the wolf into my bed. I begged him to stay.
I would like to give a special thanks to both patrons and Lunar listeners. Thank you so much for your support. It's all going directly into creating more audio content for your listening pleasure. Lunar listeners receive early access to all audio chapters on YouTube. Patreon members receive early access to uncensored audio chapters, along with full audio shorts too hot for Amazon and YouTube.